Far Cry 6 is set to take us to the fictional island of Yara to face dictator Anton Castillo and his oppressive regime. And while it sticks pretty closely to the Far Cry formula in many ways, there's still a lot of new stuff to dig into. Here's everything you need to know about Far Cry 6. For more, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Set in the present day, Far Cry 6 occurs in a time of great political turmoil within Yara. As a country frozen in time due to economic sanctions and isolationism, the population begins to rise up against Castillo's oppressive regime.
Welcome to Libertad, Dani.
Which is run on his ambition to rebuild the country to its former glory.
When Yara becomes paradise, my methods, no one will care.
You'll play as Dani Rojas, a native Yaran who was caught up in the uprising to overthrow Castillo and free Yara from the Presidente's control. Teaming up with a guerrilla faction, you'll explore urban and rural areas of the island, confronting Castillo's army and engaging in the familiar open-world antics you'd expect in a Far Cry game.
How was my day? Well, I followed a bloodthirsty rooster into combat after he blew up a truck. You too?
Another change coming to Far Cry 6 is the return of the voiced protagonist, who will be present in cutscenes and have more agency in the story than most other Far Cry lead characters. Unlike many other Far Cry protagonists who are often outsiders making their way through a foreign land, Dani has deep ties to the island, making their investment in its future more personal. You'll be able to choose between a male or female Dani, and Far Cry 6 will also feature moments where the game transitions to a third-person perspective. Those moments won't just be limited to cutscenes either. You'll see that POV shift when you use your Supremo backpack and when Dani enters friendly guerrilla camps. Ubisoft has described Yara as its most ambitious open world yet, and it includes a mix of jungles, coastal towns, farmland, and urban environments to explore, the latter of which is a rarity for the series. Throughout the game, you'll acquire weapons, gadgets, and vintage vehicles based on technology handed down and recycled from decades past. If all that sounds like too much to handle by yourself, don't worry, you can play in co-op after completing the early game mission Do or Die. By and large, Far Cry 6 doesn't deviate much from the loop and gameplay experience of recent Far Cry games. This loop focuses heavily on exploring your surroundings, engaging in side missions, retaking outposts, and eliminating key members of Castillo's military to destabilize their control of the island nation. It's familiar and still looks to capture those same thrilling moments of open-world hijinks that you would expect from the series. However, Far Cry 6 presents a bit more flexibility with how you go about facing off against Castillo's regime. One of the more significant innovations in Far Cry 6 is the new weapon types, which now include 3 special categories of firearms and gear. The first type is the regular variety, which includes standard pistols, assault rifles, and shotguns, a mix of recycled equipment passed down from the Cold War era, along with modern weapons stolen from Castillo's army. The second type is known as the resolver, improvised weapons made up of junk items and scrap. Along with the minigun, there's also a flamethrower and a disc launcher that fires burned CD copies of the 90s hit song The Macarena. The final weapon type is Supremos, specialized augmented backpacks that can unleash super moves, such as a back-mounted mortar launcher or rocket-powered jetpack. Furthermore, all of these weapons are customizable, letting you turn a simple handgun into a machine pistol with a drum magazine, complete with a nice paint job and charm. There are also different ammo types that can hit enemy weaknesses and take them down much more easily. Player and loadout customization has a deeper role in this game than in earlier entries. Along with the weapon augments, you can also customize your repurposed classic muscle or town cars with different decals and guns, and even deck out Dani with varying options of clothing that offer bonus perks, such as increased stealth and better weapons handling. You can also change the appearance of your gear and keep its stats if you want to. Stealth is much more viable as well. You can even holster your gun to hide in plain sight and bribe roaming guards to avoid engagements.
Christmas trees? Do you even grow those here?
Mexicans pay crazy money for this. How you think El Presidente funded Maria's new face?
Okay.
Returning from Far Cry 5 is the renamed Fangs for Hire feature. Now it's called Amigos, which allows you to partner up with allies met in the main story, one of which is a crocodile named Guapo. While all the Amigos will be animals, World Director Benjamin Hall confirmed that the human element of the Yara insurrection would come from like-minded people that will join the fight. Other animals in the game can be hunted for meat to trade, and horses can get you from A to B in a jiff. There's going to be plenty of DLC for Far Cry 6 coming over the next few months. In terms of free content, there'll be crossover missions featuring Rambo, Danny Trejo, and even Stranger Things that you can play either solo or in co-op. There'll also be weekly insurgencies that involve you tracking down Castillo's underlings to earn new gear. There's also going to be special operations, which take you to unique new areas of Yara and will introduce new gameplay mechanics as you snatch highly unstable chemical weapons from Anton's arms dealers and get to the extraction point before it overheats. If you buy the Season Pass, you can play as villains from previous games, including Voss, Pagan Min, and Joseph Seed, to better understand those characters. You'll also receive a copy of Far Cry Blood Dragon, and weapons, armor, vehicles, and a new Fang for hire. So there we have it, everything you need to know about Far Cry 6 before you delve in. For more on the game, subscribe or head over to GameSpot.com, where you can also learn more about Ubisoft's employees taking action to change hostile company culture and how the company itself has responded. I'm on Twitter at LucyJamesGames, and I'll see you next time.